Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. So many things to talk about, and I'm just showing you this sweatshirt that I'm wearing because it's important, and it's probably something that you'll see me wearing a lot moving forward because it's wintertime here. And honestly, guys, I just don't have a lot of like clothes and things that I can wear that don't have demonic signs and sigils on them. And the reason that I say that In and Out is different is because they literally had John 3:16 printed on. Was it John 3:16 or 14? Anyways, for God so loved the world, they gave his only begotten Son. Whoever believes in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. So, like, whatever verse that is, that's the verse, okay? This company is based out of California, and they have that scripture printed on the bottom of their cup. Dude, that's wild. You understand, like, in this day and age, how crazy that is? How crazy it is to be so bold? Man, and I mean, I would have to go and look up and see, like, what year did they do it, because I'm sure whatever year they did do it, it surely wasn't as crazy as this world is that we're living in right now. But I mean, even in the 50s, you know, I mean, and God, you know, it almost would have had to have happened in the 50s because I've ran into boomers. Like when I was at the country club, there was this guy there, and I mean, he was a great guy, you know, as far as the world is concerned. Nice guy, loved to talk to me about food. I was the executive chef, he was a member, you know, and it was great. But I remember him coming up to me, and we were talking, and he's like, "Well, what does your wife do?" And I said, "Well, she manages an In-N-Out burger." He's like, that place. I can't believe they've got that Bible verse on the bottom of their cup. And it really bothered him. And it kind of disturbed me a little bit that he pretty much told me, it's like, I don't go there. I don't go there because anybody's going to put that crap on the bottom of their... I just don't want anything to do with it. You know, had this very, like... He was a lawyer from Boston. Again, like, kind of great guy. Like, you know, if you just saw him, you'd be like, "Oh, this is such a cool little old man to talk to." But man, like, that John 3:16 verse, that's what it is, John 3:16, sorry. It got to him. You know, it got to him. And so, you know, just, guys, be... whether you think this is the new year or it isn't, I mean... Part of me is like, okay, dude, just consider it the new year so you can, like, have it as, like, a calendar. Excuse me. So you can have it as, like, a calendar to remember, because that's what the rest of the world goes by. It's, I would say it's probably more like April 1st. I think that's why they call that April Fool's Day. It's either like April 1st or like April 12th. It's 16th. It's somewhere around in there. It's some, like, historically speaking, I think New Year shouldn't begin like in the middle of when everything's dead. And that's another really interesting thing about it too, is because yesterday they sprayed the skies with more junk than I think I've ever seen. I've got a record. I guess I could I'll upload the video, you guys can see it. But, hey, there was lines, like, all throughout the sky, and I was like, man, that's weird, because today, it's so clear. It's beautiful outside today. And I know everybody experiences different things, but for me here, where I live, you know, in the belly of the beast in southern Illinois, like, it's beautiful. Honestly, you couldn't ask for really a much better day. And so, it's like they do these things and they try to get people to buy into it. You know, they try to get people to believe. Because it feels that way. It feels like it's New Year. It's crisp, it's clean, it's clear. Everything feels good. It's like, man, why did you guys pump into this cesspool of a you know, aerospace, like, you know, sky that we have these days? Like, what did you guys put out there? Because it does. Like, it feels good. And it shouldn't. It shouldn't. You look out and, like, everything's dead, you know. I had a bunch of blackbirds in my yard today, which was really fascinating, because as soon as I started to take my phone out of my pocket to take a picture of them, like, they all took off. It's like they all knew, oh no, he's taking out he's taking out the weapon. Only this retard doesn't realize he's got a weapon in his pocket. But we do, and we're leaving. No thanks. Not having a piece of our soul taken away for having our picture taken. And guys, man, if you don't know, ancient people used to feel like they didn't like, a lot of them didn't like having their pictures taken, man. Especially indigenous people. They were like, no. Like, once the white man started coming out, I'm assuming as the white man started coming out with his camera inventions, and you know, they would try to photograph indigenous people. My understanding, at least, is that the indigenous people were like, no, it takes a piece of your soul, like, every time you do that. And I don't know. That's how I feel. And it sort of gets backed up by, like, the paparazzi. Like, dude, think about the paparazzi, right? Like, think about how the stars, right, they sell their souls. Like, you sell your soul. Well, what happens once you sort of sign over to Hollywood? Next thing you know, you've got people taking your picture everywhere. Just saying. Something to think about. Right? Something to think about. You know, I would, and I realize, like, a video is, like, multiple pictures supposedly, like, being taken. But I don't know, man. I'd almost rather a video be taken than just, like, a single snapshot. I don't know. There's just something about a snapshot in time. I feel like so many people have lost the beauty of a moment by taking a picture. You know, and for me, it used to be concerts. It used to be like, man, I am not going to go to a concert and just take pictures and be on my phone. Like, I want to immerse myself. Like, I want to feel this thing. I want to be there. And now, you know, of course, if you're in the know, you've heard that concerts and big stadiums where they have, you know, football games, like, they're just trying to harvest energy, and then there's stuff going on underneath the stadiums, the concerts. And honestly, guys, like, the Travis Scott concert, whenever that was in, like, 2020, when all those people died, what was it, like, the Astro World Tour or something down in Texas? And, like, a bunch of people died, and, you know, all these people are talking about the Taylor Swift concerts and, you know, Beyonce. And, dude, I mean, I have just seen such an overwhelming amount of evidence for myself to conclude that there's undoubtedly, you know, stuff going on. And any time anybody got up there and, like, didn't do what they were supposed to, like, I remember Kanye, I think he was in Phoenix, and he just started, like, he went off script, man. He went off script completely, and they came and got him, and they took him away. They took him away. And, I mean, it's not funny, but, you know, it's like, okay, when you're at that level, like, you've done some stuff. You've done some stuff, and I'm sure you spend probably the rest of your life regretting it. Because I've done some stuff, but the stuff that I've done, no matter how horrible it is probably nowhere near what these people have done. And, I mean, guys, like, I'm not trying to compare, like, sins. Like, sin is sin. It doesn't matter. But, golly, like, just the stories of the stuff that these people have done. It's heartbreaking. It's hard. Yeah, it's hard, man. It's hard for me to imagine, like, okay, I know that I've experienced, like, massive demonic oppression, probably even at some points possession. And I've felt things in my body that just, something was telling me, like, that's not normal. Like, that shouldn't be there. And I'm starting to kind of really think that tumors and cancers and, dude, I almost feel like these things are like these little serpents, like these Leviathan spirits. Call me crazy, man. I don't care at this point. I think there's something else going on. That's why, I mean, people are pointing to the food, and yes, of course, they're poisoning us with the food and the spraying in the sky and all, you know, stuff in the water, like everything that they do. Okay, we are constantly under attack. We're constantly under attack. And it sucks, but, like, once you really commit to God and you're like, God, just take me over, lead my life, it doesn't matter like how in tune you are with all of that. He will make things better. And he will probably want you, just like I'm doing, he'll probably want you to start making videos. Doesn't matter if anybody ever watches or if they do. You know, it's kind of up to you, I think, whether or not you have a big channel, whether or not you're listening to God. Is he really leading you to have a channel, or maybe is there something else you're supposed to be doing? Like, there's a lot of things. But, you know, as far as, like, what is cancer? Why is it so big? Like, man, you guys. I think a lot of people have a lot of spiritual darkness going on. Like, people are spiritually sick these days. And I speak from experience. I'm not just making this up. This is not just, I've heard people talk about it, but it's not just that. It's I've experienced it. I realized that, you know, once I got really into hypnosis and the new age, and then crazily, through crazy amount of like synchronicities and stuff, started practicing like Golden Dawn style magic, like excuse me, golly. And after like 9 months of doing that, I probably just sneezed out a demon. After like 9 months of doing that, I got really sick, man. I got really sick. And it sucked. And it has sucked. Like, it's only gotten better within just the last, like, couple of months, man. I'm telling you, like, 2 years worth of being so sick that you feel like you might just die pretty soon, and that, you know, it's gonna be pretty horrible, because you just have this feeling like, man, this is really gonna suck. Like, if this thing, whatever's going on in my stomach, really takes off, like, it sucks not being able to eat and losing a ton of weight, but, like, if it really takes off, like, it's gonna be rough, you know? And so it humbles you, and it brings you closer to the truth, which is that we're all just here for a very short amount of time, man. No matter how old you live, right? No matter how old. I mean, I almost feel bad for those dudes in the Bible, like Methuselah living to be almost 1,000 years old. In this realm, no thank you. Like, dude, no thank you. I know these people that are wanting to promote their lives, like, dude, they're just wanting to do it because they know inevitably, like, I don't know what these people believe. They probably either believe that they're just going to die and, like, rot in the ground, or some of them actually know that there's a pretty bad ending awaiting them, you know? But, like, for normal people who are sane, especially people that are Christians, I mean, gosh, dude, however many lives, you know, or sorry, however many years, not lives, however many years I'm given, and I spent too much time in the New Age talking about however many lives, however many years I'm given, it is what it is, you know, and I'll endure, you know, I'll endure it. Part of me prays for more time on this crazy planet, man, because I think it's because, like, I feel like the earth needs people like me who will speak out. I really do. Like, I think that. Because most people, they're just not going to do it. They're too comfortable. Look at 2020, like, people just, they were like little sheep, man, you know, following each other around, the little footsteps through the stores, wearing their mask, and, oh, man, that was such a crazy time to be alive, right? And so it's been hard because I feel like people in my community hate my guts. It's a town of about like 20,000 people, but I feel like most people know where I stood during that time, and they're still annoyed with me. They're still bothered by the fact that I knew somehow that it was all a hoax and that I was talking about it. And even now that they know that it was a hoax, they don't want to say anything about it. It's weird. It's like, we just don't want to talk about it. We'll just feel better if we just hate you, and, you know. And it's like, man, I feel sorry for you guys. But, you know, the more that I've gotten closer to God, the more that I feel okay with it all. I feel okay with the fact that I spoke out about what was going on, that I tried to warn people. And luckily, guys, like, I didn't know anybody that died, at least not that I'm aware of. from the whole jabby thing that was going on. Maybe they just didn't really do that in small towns because people would kind of like get wise to what was going on, but it definitely happened in big cities. So, I feel lucky. I feel blessed. I also feel a little weird because I was trying to tell everybody, like, don't get it because they're trying to kill people, and like hardly anybody died, which was a blessing. Okay, so it's been that sort of thing. Like, this whole thing has been that sort of thing where it's been this curse and this blessing simultaneously. It's been it almost makes you like wonder if that's why the elites worship duality. You've always got like the black and white checkerboard floor going on, and it's because that's just kind of like how this reality is, man. Everything always has like two sides to it, and I guess like it's just kind of their way of like worshiping the way of this world. Like, they worship that. They love the duality, They love order out of chaos, and they love their symbolism, man. It's like, if you haven't looked into, like, ancient mythologies and ancient religions, like, dude, they are so weird. They are so weird. You have to go through some really strange stuff, and, supposedly it affects you, like, on a subconscious level, the rituals and things that you do. But dude, it's strange. I mean, on some level, like, some of it makes sense. Like, they have, they have a fairly organized way of like looking at astrology and things like that. But I mean, something even about all that just doesn't make sense. It's like there's a missing key that even the best people, like, quote unquote, the best people that are out there, like, teaching about this stuff don't have. Like, there's something missing is what my inner intuition is telling me. And that unless you sell yourself out on, like, the highest level, like, you're taking out little ones, and you're taking out your own family members, like, they're not gonna have you on camera doing that. Like, unless you do that, they're not gonna give you that key. There's a missing key, for sure. And so, I think it's just all the more reason to just disassociate from this world and try to understand things spiritually, trying to understand that, yes, the things we do, they affect ourselves spiritually. So it's like, little action here, big action there, probably even bigger action back down here, because what's happening up there is always affecting what's happening here, but our decisions here affect what's happening there. So it takes a little bit of getting used to and understanding, like, the relationship of it all. But once you understand that things are always being formed in the spiritual realm, and you start taking on more of a spiritual mindset, and you start understanding, like, all the things that I do have consequences, and especially, like, if God has revealed to you certain things, like the things that I'm revealing to you now, like, if you just discard them, and you're not, like, they should probably convict you in your soul if it's really meant to be for you, but things that God has really, like, put out there to you and convicted to you in your soul, if you go against those, dude, you're gonna have consequences. You are going to suffer the consequences. And I just don't want that for anybody, because I've experienced it, and dude, it sucks. It sucks. I always thought I was a pretty good person. Yes, I was immoral in so many ways, like most of the people in World War, but I always saw myself as pretty much a good person. Well, let me tell you something. I had so much stuff come back to me. So much stuff. And I'll make videos about that, but I just don't want you guys to go through it, man, especially with all of the knowledge we have in this day and age. So many people coming forward trying to say, don't do it, man. Don't do it. They're not lying. They're trying to save you. They're trying to help you. So listen. Listen. Pray about it. Think about it. Sit in your room. Play it out on the guitar, like, journal. I don't know, like, do whatever it is that you do to work through things, but try to work through it and make sure that you're in the right place. All right, guys. Till next time, lots of love.